Hello, beauty. My name is Jennifer Ness Schmidt. I am coming in today as Divinely Jennifer, and it has been a hot minute since I last made you a video. Boy, 2023 just keeps rolling it in, and somehow we managed to keep up with these challenges, but got my son off to college, which I'm very excited about. He is now a freshman at Indiana University, Bloomington. Got a lot to cover today. First of all, it is a super blue full moon on August 30th for those of us in the US and the Western Hemisphere, and August 31st for the rest of the world. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk some about the energy of the full moon, and then I'm going to lead you all, if you wish, in a meditation around the energy of this full moon. And then I have a really special goodie for you at the end of the meditation. So if you don't want to listen to the meditation, you just want to like fast forward to the end of the video, I can't stop you from doing that. But I do encourage you to listen to the energy and to listen to the meditation as well, because, you know, these times are intense, and the better grounded we can be, the better balanced we can be, hint, hint, as we're balancing our masculine and feminine energies inside of us. Again, as I always say, it doesn't matter how you gender or sexually identify, whatever pronouns you like to use, we all have this same beautiful masculine and feminine energy within us. It just expresses itself in a different way. Just a quick business. If you are not on my mailing list, please sign up at hello@divinelyjennifer.com. I've got some really neat stuff coming out this fall, and I would love for you to be a part of it. And people on my list always get first dibs and often a discount. All right, let's talk about this full moon. I'm going to put my glasses on because it's just easier to see. I know that sometimes the light reflects off my glasses. It's time to get new glasses. My daughter made me blonde, really blonde, but I don't know, it's kind of fun, and it's just hair, and it'll grow out and color it whatever I want to later. All right, so the full moon happens, like I said, August 30th, Wednesday, August 30th at 6:35 p.m. If you're Pacific Daylight or Mountain Standard Time, that's 9:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Let's see, England calculations, that would be August 31st, 2:35 a.m. if you're on UK time, or 3:35 a.m. if you're on Central European time, and so on and so forth. So what is a blue moon? What does that even mean? Okay, so there's a few different definitions of a blue moon. Traditionally, a blue moon is when you have 4 full moons within a single season, meaning like in the summer, you have 4 full moons. And we actually, that's not this blue moon. That's not what's happening here with this full moon. We won't have that until next summer. We'll actually have 2 full moons in Cancer. And so we'll have 2 full moons in Cancer in 2024, 1 full moon, which actually the full moon is in Capricorn, the sun is in Cancer, 1 full moon in Aquarius, and 1 full moon in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Hello. So we won't have that kind of blue moon until 2024. What this one is we basically have 2 full moons within the same month. So we had one August 1st, now we have one August 30th. And that is, that's why people like to call it a blue moon. Now it's also a super moon. And what does that mean? That means that the moon is almost as close as it gets. And astrologically, we know this because of where Black Moon Lilith is in the sky. And she's pretty close to the sun right now. She's, for the full moon, she'll be at 0 degrees of Virgo. The sun is at 7 degrees of Virgo. So she's pretty close to the sun, as far away as she can get from the moon. So the moon is going to be gorgeous, full, voluptuous, shining in the sky. She's going to look really, really big because she's very close to the earth. So again, a super kind of blue by modern definitions full moon for us on deck. The moon will be at 7 degrees, 25 minutes of Pisces. The sun is at 7 degrees, 25 minutes of Virgo. And it's going to be really, really beautiful in the sky because Saturn is at 3 degrees, 33 minutes of Pisces. I love that, 333 of Pisces. So you're going to see Saturn very, very close to the moon, and it's going to be really beautiful. In fact, the moon will almost outshine. You will probably barely be able to see Saturn, but Saturn will be right there next to the moon, and it'll be really, really, really beautiful. So we're going to be feeling that energy of Saturn. I think that energy of Saturn in Pisces is going to very much inform the energy of this full moon, which I will definitely be talking about. There are also some pretty cool other aspects that I'll talk about before I move on to the meditation. Pisces is one of my favorite signs because not only do I get along as a triple Cancer, I get along great with Pisces, and a couple of my closest best friends are Pisces. But one of the things I love about Pisces is it really is very much about sacred union. When you think, I've talked a lot when I did my Saturn and Pisces video, which you can still go back on YouTube and watch. I talk about the Vesica Pisces, and it's two circles. I always use my hands, right? So it's a circle, and it's like, and then there's that little space in the middle. But the Vesica Pisces is really so much about the integration of masculine and feminine, yin and yang. It's this beautiful coming together. Like I said, I love the word sacred union because it is very much sacred. So often people come together and there ain't nothing sacred about it. I speak from experience, or you think it's sacred and it's actually not. With this energy with Saturn, I think we're really going to see, I see Saturn. Saturn is not just, discipline and structure and boundaries, which, oh my God, can I just tell you how important boundaries are? Yes. Okay. Super important. And Saturn is also beautiful father energy. I think of it as etheric father energy when it's in Pisces. Saturn is also that divine masculine energy. Think of like a teacher, a mentor. I don't want to say an authoritarian figure, but someone you look up to, an elder, like a masculine elder figure. So this full moon really illuminates that divine masculine for us. So we think about this balance of feminine, masculine, which is so unfortunately loaded in our world right now. But really, these are energies, right? Left brain, right brain, yin, yang, giving, receiving, doing, being. These are very much balancing energies. And we want them to be, we want to see them as, we want to experience them as equal within us. For so long, feminine has been seen as weak in our more patriarchal cultures that has revered a masculine energy, a masculine God, because men traditionally are physically stronger. Their men were traditionally the hunters, the providers. They obviously cannot birth babies, so because they just don't have the parts for that. So women were women because we have wombs. Women, we were the ones staying with the babies, and that served humans to procreate and reproduce. But now here we are in the 2023 in the 21st century, and things have changed so much. And part of our real struggle as humans is to find this balance of masculine and feminine, yin and yang, giving and receiving, doing and being energy within us. And of course, we have to find that balance within us before we can offer it into partnership. Like I said, this is a real reversal of some of the patriarchal roles we've seen in our societies for millennia. And it can be a hard nut to crack for some. And that's okay, because our governments, our religions, our traditions are all based on this patriarchal model. But now we're shifting away from that. So it's like I said, it's not like one is better. We don't want to be all feminine and not have any of that masculine. That doesn't serve us either. But it's a time to ask yourself, how can my masculine serve my feminine? Because for so long, it's been the feminine in service to the masculine. Now it's time to ask, how can my masculine traits, energy, that left brain side, the doing side, the part that wants to be super productive, the part that's always giving, 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 which I know is ironic that that's a masculine trait because it seems like women are always giving, giving, but it is. And so these are some real questions to ask yourself during this full moon, and see what gets illuminated for you. This is what a full moon is, right? It's the culmination of energy. It's the illumination, what's being illuminated for you. You might be feeling super intuitive because Pisces is one of the most intuitive signs. One of my girlfriends, one of my soul sisters, has a lot of Pisces in her chart, and poof, she is one intuitive being. So think about check in with your intuition. You may be called to go to the ocean, or go to water, and just, check out that energy of the water, of your emotions. I joke around always that emotions should be spelled EMOCEANS, like the ocean, because we swim in these oceans of emotions. And sometimes the masculine in us wants to compartmentalize our feelings or suppress them, which, we don't necessarily want to always be in a reactive state, but emotions in and of themselves aren't bad. And in fact, they can lead to some pretty amazing creativity. And I don't just mean art, although it can lead to some pretty amazing art, but the wisdom that we get through our emotions and through our heart space is so necessary in our world, because our brains have a capacity, right? They reach a limit. Our left brain has that. Where's my left? The left brain has that capacity, has that limits. And the right brain has a lot more flow, a lot more spaciousness in a lot of ways. And so just check in with yourself and see, where are you perhaps out of balance, in balance? Do you need to do you need to give more to yourself in order to receive more for yourself? Do you need to take a time out? I did a 3-hour epic float therapy session yesterday. It was amazing. And I needed to give that gift to myself. It's like I said, it's been a really challenging year. So just giving myself that space to go into my theta waves in my brain in that meditative state and just zone out without any of my senses being stimulated. I mean, if you've never done float therapy, it's pretty incredible. It's a zero gravity environment, totally dark. I don't use music. It's no sound, and it's pretty hard to explain, but I did some pages and pages of journaling afterwards, just clearing whatever it was I cleared. Now the sun is in Virgo, opposite the moon in Pisces. And, Virgo is very much about health and our daily practices. And to me, really the ultimate definition of health is that balance of yin and yang, of masculine and feminine inside of us. These life forces inside of us that create harmony and vitality. If we're too much on one end of the spectrum, then that can really take us out of balance. And that can really mess with our vitality, with our life forces. So some other really interesting energy with this full moon. We have this opposition happening in the sky in Aries and Libra. So first in Aries, and we have Eris and the North Node. So the goddess Eris, the dwarf planet Eris, and the North Node are traveling very closely together in Aries right now. And they won't conjunct exactly. They won't meet up at that exact point in the sky until November 30th, 2023. But, oh man, they are really influencing each other right now. So the shadow side of Eris is very much this reactive and vindictive feminine. We've all experienced it from, again, doesn't matter what gender it's being expressed from. We all have this energy, right? Eris is the type, she's not strategic necessarily. She's She's all heart, all emotion, and she'll just lob the bomb into the crowd to get a reaction. But her highest frequencies are really rather extraordinary. So you think of that Joan of Arc energy, courage, that courageous feminine, the advocate, the single, solitary, independent woman who is, or feminine, who's standing there advocating, stopping, I think of even that, remember in Tiananmen Square back, was it in the 90s? And one single person stood in front of a tank. And I believe it was a male. But that also was this energy of Eris and Aries, this very courageous advocate. That's why I always think of Joan of Arc as the ultimate energy of Eris and Aries. Where sovereignty with this North Node, sovereignty is our destiny. Like, we're not supposed to be dependent on others. We can be interdependent with one another when we're in that space of sacred union. Yes, but we're still our individual selves. Otherwise, we get into that mucky codependent stuff that doesn't serve anybody. So I just find this energy of the North Node and Eris conjunct to be really interesting, because you're going to be pushed. The universe is pushing you, the divine, cosmos, whatever you want to call it. You're going to be feeling pushed to set boundaries. Your BS meter is going to be going off the charts. You're just not going to tolerate it. You're not going to be able to tolerate it. And frankly, that's our destiny, is not to lie or throw shade at people. It is to be our truthful, honest, sovereign selves. So I'm curious to see how this is going to manifest throughout the month of November in the world, because again, this is energy that we are all experiencing. There's a pretty low-key election season happening here in the US at the beginning of November. I don't know if it necessarily has to do that, although it's pretty close to the US Chiron. So I expect there still to be a lot of, Americans are really good at hurting each other, and a lot more of this division and polarity, because one of the shadow sides of Aries is that separation, whereas Pisces brings us, wants us to be together in that sacred union. Pisces is like that separation. I am me, I am I. And we're also part of the greater whole, right? We're not just I in a separated vacuum away from everyone. So this is going to be interesting to see how that manifests. I don't have any intuitive insights about it that I can share with you, but again, we'll see. So the Eris and the North Node are opposite to the South Node, obviously, because South Node and North Node are always in opposition. The star Arcturus, and then Ceres. And so Ceres is at 23 of Libra, Arcturus is at 24 of Libra, and the South Node is at 25. And of course, like I said, where Aries is that individual, Aries represents the individual, the I am. Libra is about the intimate relationship. It's 1 + 1. Now, Pisces is 1 + 1 = 3, because there's that third unit in there. You plus me = we. Libra is still you and me. There's no we there quite. But to me, I really see this energy here with this stellium in Libra. It's very much, and it goes with this opposition of Eris and the North Node. It's about the release of toxic feminine archetypes, especially in relationships. Now, sometimes what happens is when we are in a relationship with a narcissist or someone with narcissistic tendencies, someone who lies for control, likes to put in wedges between people, that's a very toxic energy, right? And oftentimes when we're in a situation like that, we take on some of those characteristics ourselves in order to survive. But the stellium here is really encouraging us to let go of these toxic feminine archetypes. And that might mean walking away from that relationship, or again, using that North Node and Eris energy to set some really, really strong boundaries if you're staying in the relationship. This is also the release of that energy, the expectation of the mother as the sole nurturer. And I heard a really beautiful conversation earlier today where a young woman was standing up for her mother because the father had all sorts of excuses why he couldn't provide. And the daughter said, look, you made up all these excuses about not being able to provide. Mom didn't make excuses. She just sacrificed and did what she had to provide. And so we're going to be really stepping away from those expectations. I think with this energy, we're going to be seeing shifts in the definition of power in relationships, the challenge of being powerful, the way people look at women who are successful or powerful. It's like, oh, well, she's this or she's that. And you know what? We're all here. We all have a purpose. We're all meant to live our purpose out in the world. We're not supposed to sacrifice our well-being or compromise who we are. Now, if you want to take care of people, if you feel like your purpose is to stay home with the kids or take care of your family, God bless you. But for a lot of people, it's not. So this is a time to release that past life karma, release the karma from this life, and go. Really live your purpose. You can still be a nurturer. You can still honor your family and be extraordinarily fertile and creative. Ceres is like Cereal. She's the goddess of creativity, fertility, helping us nurture our families and bring food, create food, but not at the loss of ourselves, right? So in Greek mythology, Ceres was Demeter, and her daughter Persephone was taken to the underworld by Pluto. There's I won't go into that here, but that represents part of that Ceres energy. So this is really some of the energy I see around the full moon. I'm just going to gather my stuff together and we're going to get into that meditation. All right, love. So as you're getting comfortable for the meditation, just a little plug, please feel free to hop on over to my Ko-fi page, which I will put the link in the description of this video, where you can make a donation of any kind. Anyone who makes a donation of 50 or more can ask the Oracle a question. If you have a question that's been on your mind and you would like some divine intervention, some divine guidance, please feel free to leave a donation for me there. I've been creating some Venus retrograde readings for people with their donations, and it's been super fun. I think that donations are actually going to be the business model of the future. It's going to take us some time to get there, but in the meantime, I love offering these videos to you, and I also love receiving your gifts and donations. So you can buy me a coffee, $5, $10, whatever's in your budget. All right, so get yourself comfortable. You can be lying down for this meditation. You can be sitting up in a comfortable space, whatever works for you. And you can dim the lights, whatever works for you. And this is a meditation for this full moon in Pisces. And we're going to be working to bring together the balance of masculine and feminine within us. Take a moment to get comfortable. Feel free to close your eyes if you wish, or you can leave them open, gazing softly ahead of you, and feel your breath evenly inhaling and exhaling. During the meditation, you can always come back to your breath if you get distracted by the sounds around you, or by your thoughts, or by the sensations in your body. As you breathe into your lungs evenly and generously, focus the energy of your breath in your sacrum, the bony base of your spine. You may wish to place a hand gently on your abdomen, just below your belly button, but you don't have to. You can leave your hand there or remove it at any time during the meditation. It's all good. Really breathe into that space, into your sacrum. Now, I want you to imagine a glowing blue light in the center of your sacrum. You might feel it within, or you might see it with your third eye. And this blue light pulsates with every beat of your blood through your body. It begins to elongate like a serpent, snaking its way through your abdomen, up into your solar plexus, up into your heart. Let it swirl and spiral up and down, around and back. Breathe into this light. With your breath, enjoy that blue light up and down, around and back. And then ever so gently, guide the light back down into your sacrum. Ask it to wait there for a moment. Now imagine a glowing yellow light next to the blue one. You might feel it within or see it with your third eye. This yellow light pulsates with every beat of your blood through your body. It begins to elongate like a serpent, snaking its way through your abdomen, up into your solar plexus, up into your heart. Let it swirl and spiral up and down, around and back. Breathe into this light as it moves up and down, around and back. With your breath, guide the yellow light back down into your sacrum. As the yellow light returns to your sacrum, the blue light begins to move closer to it. It may be tentative at first, as if asking permission. Go ahead and ask the yellow light, does it wish to dance with the blue light? If the answer is yes, allow the blue and yellow lights to wrap around one another ever so gently. If the answer is no, allow them to be present next to one another in their sovereignty. There is no right or wrong answer. Whatever is happening within you is exactly what wants to happen in this moment. You might be experiencing some unexpected emotions, and that's okay. Know that whatever is happening within you, you are perfectly safe and held with unconditional love. Spend a few moments in absolute presence of these lights, allowing them to intertwine or separate whatever feels right and true for you in this moment. Allow them to shine at their brightest, whether they're intertwined or separate. And if you find your mind wandering into the future or the past, breathe into your sacrum and let those thoughts go. I'll guide you back in a few moments. Take a few more breaths into your sacrum. Thank the blue light and the yellow light for whatever they have revealed to you today. The blue light and the yellow light are each important. And we feel the most vitality when they are balanced within us. Ever so gently, begin to come back to the external world. You may want to take a deep breath, filling your lungs with air, and sigh it out. If that felt really good, do it again. Take a deep breath, fill your lungs with air, and sigh it out. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe get in a good stretch. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and take a loving look at your beautiful, radiant self. Welcome back, beautiful. How do you feel? So I wanted to offer you a little gift today. And if you would like a divinely channeled message just for you, please feel free to leave it in the comments on YouTube, or better yet, send me an email at hello@divinelyjennifer.com and just say, hey, can I have a divinely channeled message? And I will send one to you. It may take me 3 or 4 days to respond, as I will be unavailable this weekend, but I will get to it just as soon as I can, and know that this message is just for you, from the divine, channeled through me. Thank you so, so much for joining me in this video, in this meditation. I am here for you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm so grateful for your presence and for your donations to this work. Feel free to book a reading if that is something that inspires you as well. You can find all of that on my website at www.divinelyjennifer.com. And I will also be posting the link to my Ko-fi page below as well. I love you. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you the next time.